Hello students, this is Mr. Abdullah speaking. Um, this is the first video of the revision for the end of term exam, grade 8 ELITE. So the first part includes 20 questions with 30 marks, so 3 marks for each question. So in the first question, it will be from page 702. You will be solving multi-step equations. So here on the left, you have a solved example, and here on the right, we will be solving some questions. So this is a multi-step equation, and we need to combine all the x's on one side and all the variables, all the constants on the other side. So we will subtract 8x from both sides. We cancel the 8x minus 8x equals 0, so negative 10 equals negative 2x. We divide both sides by minus 2, x equals 5. So question number 2 is another equation. You have to subtract 7x from both sides, and then 10x minus 7x, it becomes 3x. Subtract 39 from both sides. Negative 21 equals 3x, divide both sides by 3, x will be negative 7. As I told you, girls, if you have a constant multiplied by a bracket, you will use the distributive property. So 3 is multiplied by 11x, and then 3 is multiplied by minus 7. So 3 times 11 is 33, 3 times negative 7 is negative 21. Subtract 13x from both sides, and then add 21 to both sides. You get 20x equals 46. Divide both sides by 20, so x will be 2.3. And the other one is you have to subtract 0.5x from both sides. So 2.5x plus 8 equals 35. Subtract 8 from both sides. 2.5x equals 27. Divide both sides by 2.5. X will be 10.8. Moving on to the second question, we have this graph, and we need to answer question 5, 6, and 7. This is identify a pair of vertical angles that appear to be obtuse. So obtuse angle measures more than 90 degrees. So and vertical angles, like two angles that form the X shape, as I told you in the class. So we can see that this angle is an obtuse angle. It's clearly measuring more than 90 degrees. And if we look at this angle, let me just switch the color. We have got two angles that are vertical angles, and also they are obtuse. So the first one is DXP, and then the other one is AXE. Now we've got question number 6. If the measure of DXP is this angle, if the measure is 116, and the measure of EXE, which is this one down, 3x plus 2, find the value of x. These two angles are vertical angles. The ones that we mentioned in question 5, they are vertical angles, which means they are congruent. If they are congruent, then they are equal. Set them equal to each other. Subtract 2 from both sides. 3x equals 114. Divide both sides by 3. X will be 38. Now we've got one more question in this slide. This question says, if the measure of BXC is 90 degrees, which is a right angle, and the measure of CXD, this angle here, is 6x minus 13, and the measure of DXE, this one here, is 10x plus 7. Find the value of x. these three angles will form a straight angle which measures 180. So the three of them add up to 180. Add them up. 90 plus 6x minus 13 plus 10x plus 7 equals 180. 6x and 10x is 16x, and 90 minus 13 plus 7 is 84. Subtract 84 from both sides. 16x equals 96. Divide both sides by 16. You will end up having x equals 6. Question number 3 says write a conjecture that describes the pattern in each sequence, then use it to find the next term. What's happening here? We're just adding 4, so each term is 4 more than the previous term. The next term will be 24. Question number 2, we are just adding 2 as a digit. So the next term will be 2, 2, 2, 2, and another 2. So each term is having an additional digit of 2 as part of the number. Question number 3. So 1 multiplied by 1.5 is 1.5. 1.5 times 1 times 1 half is 1 half. 1 half times another half is 1/4. 1/4 times 1 over 2, which is 1 over 8. And if you multiply by 1 over 2, you get 1 over 16. So each term is 1/2 the previous term. And here, this is 6. 11 over 2 is 5.5. And this is 5. This is 4.5. And this is 4. If you guess what comes next, it will be 3.5, which is 7 over 2. So each term is 1/2 less than the previous term. If you look at the arrival times, 3 p.m., 12:30 p.m. and 10 a.m. So the difference between each two appointments or each two timings is 2 hours 30 minutes. 2 hours 30 minutes. If we generate the next term, it will be 7:30 a.m. So each arrival time is 2 hours and 30 minutes prior to the previous time. And then if you look at this shaded section, it's rotating or it's moving 1 quadrant counterclockwise. So the fourth one will be in the first quadrant. So the shaded section in each circle has moved 1 section counterclockwise from the location in the previous circle. We skipped question 6 by mistake, but as you can see, it's just -7%. -7%. This will be just 79%. It's 7% less than the previous humidity percentage. Here what's happening, we're removing these two, we're removing these two, we're removing these two, so it's 1 column less than the previous, right? Here we go. In question 4, we need to write a compound statements for conjunctions and disjunctions and determine the truth value. So if we look at the first statement, -3 minus 2, is it equal to -5? Indeed it is. So it's true. Vertical angles are congruent for sure. This is true. And 2 plus 8 is not bigger than 10. So this is false. And P and Q, which means true and true gives true. Remember the truth table for and, or, and these things that we covered in class? So if you look at the second one, this sign means and. So the statement P is true and the statement R is false. So we read it as true and false, it will give false. And the third one, this is or, and statement Q is true. And this is the, we need the negation of statement R. Statement R is originally false, but with this negation it becomes true. So true and the true is just true. So this is false and true, which is true, and this is not true and not false. So this is, sorry, not true and not true, which is false and false. This is just false. And the last one is the negation of R, which is false, the negation of P, which is false, which is true, so it becomes false. True and false, this is just true. Question number 5 says apply the law of detachment to determine the validity of the conclusions. So right angles, let me use a highlighter here. Right angles are congruent, 100% true. Angle 1 and 2 are right angles. Can we conclude that they are congruent? Yes, we can. So this is a valid conclusion by the law of detachment. It says if a figure is a square, then it has 4 right angles. This is the given statement. If we know a figure, A, B, C, D, that has 4 right angles, can we conclude that it is a square? No, because it could be a rectangle, right? So this is invalid. The figure could be a rectangle. 9 says if you leave your lights on while your car is off, then your battery will die. So you notice that your battery is dead. Can we conclude that you left your light on while your car was off? This is a possible thing that happened, okay? That could have happened, but maybe the battery is old. Maybe you forgot the music on. So this is invalid. This is invalid. Your battery could be dead because it was old. 10 says if Dennis gets a part-time job, then he can afford a car payment. Now, it says Dennis can afford a car payment. Can we conclude that he got a part-time job? Maybe, but he could have been saving money also, right? Or he got money from, he borrowed money from his friend to buy a car. So it's not necessarily that Dennis get a part-time job. So this is invalid. Question 11 says if 75% of the prom ticket are sold, then the prom will be held at the country club. So 75% of the prom tickets were sold. Can we conclude that the prom will be held at the country club? Yes, for sure. So this is valid by the law of detachment. Question number 6, it says analyze figures to identify and use postulates about points, lines, and planes. So there is exactly one plane that contains non-collinear points A, B, and C. This is always true, so we need to determine is it true, or sometimes true, always true, or never true. This is true because we know that there is a postulate that states if through any 3 non-collinear points there is exactly one plane. There are at least 3 lines through point J and K. This is impossible because if you have 2 points, there is exactly 1 line that passes through these 2 points. Just 1 line, no more lines. So this is never true. It says if points M, N, and P lie in a plane X, then they are collinear. Sometimes, if they are in a plane X, they could be collinear, they could be non-collinear. Points X and Y are in a plane Z. Any point collinear with points X and Y as in a plane Z? Yes. Why? Because if 2 points lie on a plane, then the entire line containing those points lie in the same plane. So this is always true. And the intersection of 2 planes can be a point? No, never. The intersection is a line, not a point. A point is wrong. So it is a line, not a point. and points A, B, and C determine a plane. Sometimes there is a condition to use the 3 points when naming a plane. They must be collinear. So sometimes the points must be non-collinear to be used. Question number 7 is the easiest ever. It says just identify each ordered pair. Point A, if we look at point A, it is 3 units to the right and it's on the x-axis, so it's 3 and 0. If we look at B, it is 2 units left, so -2 and 3 units up, so it's 3. And C is -1 and -1, sorry, 1 and -1, 1 unit right and 1 unit down. And point D is 2 and 2. Question number 8, we will be using reflection to find the new coordinates. So if we write the coordinates of point A, so it's 1, 2, 3 units to the left, so -3 and 2 units up. And if we find the coordinate of P, it's 0 and 1, and C is -2 to the left, and then 3 units down, so it's -3. So we list them, and then when we are doing the reflection on the line y equals x, each point, which is x and y, becomes y and x. So we just flip the coordinates. Okay, we just flip the coordinates. So the other one will be 1 and 0, and then -3 and -2. Okay, so maybe in the exam you will be asked about this point only, or this point only. Okay, so pay attention. Now we've got this trapezoid, which I gave you this question all of these questions were on a worksheet in the class. So trapezoid DEFG in the line x equals -1. So this yellow line is the line x equals -1. So if we look at this point D, it's 1 unit to the right of the line of reflection. So we go 1 unit to the left. And then this G is 4 units away from D. So we will go 4 units away. So it's here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is G prime. And point E is 2 units to the right of the line of reflection. So 2 units to the left will be here. And from E prime, we go 2 units until we reach F prime. We match them. This is the reflected figure. And whatever the question is asking for, we can find it. Whether the question says find the coordinates of point E or F or D or G after the reflection in the line x equals -1, we can list all of them and we can answer whatever the question is asking for. Again, when you are doing the reflection in the line y equals x, x and y becomes y and x. So you are flipping them. First, you have to list all of them. As you can tell here, this is -2 and 3. And you have to list all of them for R, S, T, and U from the figure. And what you need to do to find the new coordinates, just flip them. Now, the reflection line is y equals -2, and as we did in the previous slide, so this k is 2 units up, k prime will be here. N is 3 units up, so we'll go, look, 1, 2, 3. You will go 1, 2, 3. Here you've got N prime, right? And then you continue doing this. It's easier than changing the coordinates and adding 4. So, for example, for point K, you will add 4 to the y, or you will subtract 4 from the y coordinate in point K. So graphing the figure is easier than doing the calculation. So these are the 4 original points, and then after sketching or after graphing the new square, you will get to know the new coordinates. So determine the coordinates of point S after a reflection in the line y equals 3. You just make a simple sketch, okay? And you know that minus 7 and 1 lies here. This is minus 7 and 1, which is S. Okay, after a reflection in the line y equals 3, y equals 3 is here. So this is again negative 7 and 1. So it's 2 units below the line of reflection. You go 2 units up, so you have just to add 4 here. Why 4? Because 2 units until you reach y equals 3, and you need to go the same distance above. So it's going to be negative 7 and 5. So here 6 and minus 4 lies somewhere here. This is 6 and minus 4, and you're doing the reflection in the line x equals 2. So how many units between 2 and 4? Between 2 and 6. This is 4 units. This is 4 units until you reach 6. So you will go here 4 units until you reach the new point. Notice that the y coordinate doesn't change, but from 2, if you subtract 4, you get negative 2. Question number 9, we need to classify the angles. So angle ABG, this angle is an obtuse angle. And the other one is DBA. The other one is, one second, DBA. So this is an acute angle. So let's name these angles now. VQS. VQS. Notice that this is a right angle. So it's a right angle. The other one is TQV. We start at T, we go to Q, and then we go to V. This is less than 90, so this is an acute angle. PQV. PQV is you start at P, you go to Q, and then to V. This is obtuse angle, and the other one will be the same. SQR, this is SQR. They are both obtuse angle, obtuse angle. So, coming to the last question, which is find the measure of each numbered angle. Let me highlight this triangle. This is a right triangle. It has 3 interior angles. They sum up to 180. So the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of the other angle, and the third angle is 180. We know that angle 1 is the one that we're looking for. RTW is 60 degrees, and RWT is a right angle. So there is a right angle here. So add them up and then subtract them from 180, you get 30. So this angle 1 is 30. Angle 1 is 30. And if you look at 1 and 2 together, angle 1 plus angle 2, they sum up to 90 degrees. Look, angle 1 and 2 sum up to 90 degrees. So we found the measure of angle 1 to be 30, plus the measure of angle 2 equals 90, negative 30, or subtract 30. You get the measure of angle 2 to be 60 degrees. Or you can highlight the other triangle and say that they add up to 180, because also you can say that you have another triangle, and also this triangle is another way to find the measure of angle 2. 90 plus 30 plus the measure of angle 2 is 180. You can get the same answer. So if we highlight this triangle, the three angles add up to 180. Two known and one unknown, we can find it. So the measure of angle 1 plus 66 plus 58 equals 180. Add them, the 68 and 58, they simplify to 124. Subtract 124 from both sides, you get 56. And notice that angle 1 and angle 2 are vertical angles. So 1 and 2 are the same, 56 each. And once we know the second angle to be 56, we know that 56 plus 50 plus the measure of angle 3 equals 180. And then we can solve it. We can subtract 160 from both sides, we get 74. One more, we can start by finding the measure of angle 1, because for this triangle, two angles are known and one is unknown. So let's go ahead and find it. 35 plus 36 plus the measure of angle 1 equals 180. So 35 plus 36 is 71 plus the measure of angle 1 equals 180 minus 71 minus 71. The measure of angle 1 will be 109. And if you look at angle, if you look at angle 1 and 3, they form a linear pair. They form what? A linear pair. So the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 3 equals 180. So the measure of angle 1 is 109 plus the measure of angle 3 equals 180 minus 109 minus 109. So the measure of angle 3 equals 71. This is one way to find it. Another way, this is an exterior angle which is equal to the two remote interior angles. So if you add 35 plus 36, you will get the measure of angle 3. And to find the measure of angle 2, look at the look at the yellow triangle now. You've got 36 and 80, and angle U is basically 35 plus the measure of angle 2. So the measure of angle 2 plus 35 plus 36 plus 8 equals 180. Combine these three values together, they add up to 151 minus 151 from both sides. It will be 29 degrees. This is the end of part 1. See you in part 2. Bye-bye.